Beset by bad polls and defections from his camp, Nicolas Sarkozy is struggling to maintain momentum ahead of Sunday's first round of the presidential election. Fighting off challenges from the Socialist left and the far-right National Front, the once flamboyant president is campaigning on a platform of fear and fiscal responsibility. His Socialist challenger, Francois Hollande, is drawing supporters with a promise of social inclusion and a 75% tax on the super-rich. For tonight's special report, our Foreign Affairs correspondent Jonathan Rugman looks now at how Hollande is hoping his very lack of charisma could help him capture the keys to the Élysée Paris.
He's billed himself as France's Mr. Normal, and watching Francois Hollande work this crowd of 15,000 in Lille, he does indeed seem short of charisma, though long on promises. It's time for change is his Obama-like theme tune. But in reality, Hollande's an unabashed socialist of the old school, and perhaps the jovial father figure a frightened France is looking for amid Europe's economic storm.
Because we are in a crisis, because our country has been enfeebled, because the world is stricken by speculation and finance, we also have a mission to put France right.
If the polls are to be believed, Francois Hollande will be elected President of France in less than 3 weeks' time. The question is whether this country really will vote for change despite these tough economic times. Hollande's supporters are ethnically diverse and out to oust a notoriously divisive president. In Hollande's campaign video, he's the natural heir to France's 1789 revolution. And given unemployment's at its highest for 12 years, what a travesty for his party it would be if he loses.
François Hollande is representing a lot of change. We need those change.
He has the program really to improve the economic situation and to make France more inclusive than exclusive, as it was under Sarkozy.
On Hollande's front bench are two former prime ministers and the woman who devised France's controversial 35-hour working week. Oh, and there's Valérie Trierweiler, Hollande's partner, now likely to replace Carla Bruni in the Élysée Palace. Hollande's son, Thomas, is from his former partnership with Ségolène Royal, who failed to beat Sarkozy 5 years ago. And he told me it would be the end of the Socialist Party if history repeats itself. I think it'll be a tight race.
Yes, I think because Sarkozy is a very good competitor. He was not a good president, but he's a good candidate.
He's a fighter.
Yes, he's a fighter. So it will be difficult. Very difficult.
And is it true your father has stopped eating chocolate cake and changed his glasses to become more presidential?
It's not to become more presidential, it's really to be fit, to win this campaign. It's important to be fit.
Heading south from Paris, this is the press bus following the Sarkozy campaign. The economy and much of the French media may have turned against the president, but it's perhaps unwise to write him off quite yet.
I know a lot of people who say he will lose, for sure, it's finished for him. I don't think so. No, because he's very... He likes the fight.
Combative.
He's very combative. He likes to fight up to the end, you know, to the very end. Yeah.
When Sarkozy appears, he looks as if he's going to a funeral. Deliberately less bling-bling these days, more high priest of fiscal austerity. The welcoming party at this factory doesn't look welcoming at all. The workers fear that this is a funeral, theirs, because this plant, which makes car parts, is threatened with closure. But there's good news. This is an election week, and the president's come to tell them he's investing millions to keep most of their jobs, for the next few years anyway. After his speech, hardly anyone clapped. Yet Sarkozy claims that across France, what he calls a silent majority will vote for him. Voters who may not like him personally, but feel that he's the best they've got. Though with the latest polls suggesting that Sarkozy's position is worsening, it was perhaps hardly surprising that he batted my repeated questions about them away. In a hall in Poitiers, he talks about a strong France and wraps himself in the flag. And he gets the biggest cheer when he tells his bourgeois audience the threat of unbridled immigration is something the caviar-eating left just don't understand.
What we are seeing is young rootless people to whom we haven't taught which side of the Mediterranean they are from. This is a country blanketed with cathedrals and churches, a country with Christian roots. And when we deny this, we deny the identity of our country.
There's still the old magnetism, but it seems to attract and repel France in equal measure. And his message, if Hollande wins, will the last Frenchman to leave France please turn out the lights.
I was at university in London, and I'd love to go back if Hollande win.
But will it really be such a disaster?
That will be as bad as it was when Mitterrand in 1981.
He says what a lot of people think, and he doesn't care about if it's going to be like, if people are going to think it's like racist or think like that.
So he's not politically correct?
I don't think so.
So a tough right-winger for tough times versus the affable socialist, who will have to give up a lot more than chocolate cake if France is to balance its books. Jonathan Rugman, Channel 4 News, France.